All right. Well, hello, everyone. This is pretty crazy. But welcome to this panel about David Lynch and video games. My name is Rose. I am a podcaster. I do The Safe Room with my friend Grace Benfell, who's a fantastic writer and critic. And I am a certified Twin Peaks sicko. We're here to talk about this guy. Filmmaker David Lynch, very influential. Just a quick rundown of his movies, and feel free to clap at your favorites, I guess. Eraserhead in 97. We have The Elephant Man in 1980. We have Dune. Any Dune heads? Blue Velvet in 86. We got Twin Peaks. Maybe you heard of it? I don't know. Wild at Heart. My personal favorite, Fire Walk with Me. Lost Highway. The Straight Story. Anybody see that? A few of you, okay. Mulholland Drive. There's a direct connection between Mulholland Drive and Hannah Montana, and that's always fun to me. Inland Empire, that one, crazy one, and then Twin Peaks: The Return. Okay. Just some quick content warnings, really for just one part of the presentation. Just some bloody imagery and stuff, uncomfortable stuff that we'll get to, blood and gore, disturbing imagery, misogynistic violence, and then spoilers for Twin Peaks, all of it. I feel like the way this crowd cheered, you're fine. Lost Highway, Silent Hill 2, and the Alan Wake series. And then, hey, what makes a David Lynch film? He's kind of known for his kind of unconventional surreal works that contrast kind of idealized American society with darker themes of violence, misogyny, abuse, and identity. We have this visual metaphor from Blue Velvet, which is the bright, clear skies of the neighborhood contrasted with the dirt and grime underneath the grass, which is kind of a metaphor that defines a lot of his filmography, especially after Blue Velvet. And a lot of his films are ambiguous and open-ended and follow this dream logic. David Lynch practiced transcendental meditation throughout his entire life, and a lot of that is the source of just, going with the flow and not, having any, not necessarily following any concrete rules in terms of storytelling. I will go ahead and let David Lynch himself transition us into our topic.
Today, I was thinking about Lana Del Rey and her song Video Games from 2011.
All right, video games. Link's Awakening is a pretty well-known one. Let me give you the rundown on Twin Peaks, though a lot of you don't need it, obviously. Twin Peaks is about Laura Palmer, who is found murdered at the beginning of the show, and the eccentric Dale Cooper is up to him to solve the murder. From there, we meet a bunch of colorful characters and get an insight into their lives. And that's really all you need to know in relation to Link's Awakening. Not only was the show a phenomena in the US for a short time, it also took off in Japan after it aired here.
Laura Palmer and Twin Peaks may be dead in the U.S., but they're alive and well in Japan. Entertainment Tonight has the story for this Friday, June 26th, 1992.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Entertainment Tonight. I'm John Tesh.
And I'm Mary Hart. For For the better part of 2 television seasons, Twin Peaks and the travails of Laura Palmer intrigued American viewers. It's now a different story in Japan. The entire country seems to have gone crazy over the show, which has become a national obsession.
Good Lord, Laura.
For almost 2 seasons, American audiences wanted to know who killed Laura Palmer and why. Then the series was canceled. But in Japan, there is full-fledged Twin Peaks mania. Everywhere you look, there are hats, buttons, books, and magazines. A 14-tape set of the entire Twin Peaks saga has sold more than 30,000 copies. And Japanese television carried mock Laura Palmer funerals, even though the series itself has only been seen on limited pay-per-view. Television producer Kenji Shumizu thinks he understands the fad.
The Japanese people seem to yearn for a mysterious atmosphere, which also characterizes, for example, the Twilight Zone.
Some of the frenzy has been stimulated by a new Twin Peaks movie which opened in Japan before being shown in the U.S. It's expected to be one of the top 10 movies in Japan for '92. Still, some of the fans had trouble keeping up with it.
This is not what I expected. I don't think I enjoy the movie because I don't understand the thing.
The series has also set off a travel boom. Hundreds of young tourists, mostly young women, have packed up their video cameras and are traveling to the town outside Seattle where the series was shot. Actors from the show have even come out to meet them. The tourists visit the Sawmill, the Falls, the Great Northern Hotel, and the cafe where Agent Cooper had cherry pie and coffee. According to James Nunn of the Washington State Trade Office, the spot where Laura Palmer's body was found causes some strange tourist rituals.
The most favorite, apparently, is for them to be wrapped up in clear sheets of vinyl, like you might find at a construction site, and lie down on a beach where the body of Laura Palmer was found in the same pose as the body and be photographed that way.
The tours are the brainchild of Kazuo Kuwata. He says the Japanese people are really hooked on the quirky series with its mysterious characters, and he thinks Twin Peaks mania is just beginning.
The mood is getting bigger and bigger.
The Diary of Laura Palmer has now been translated into Japanese, and sales have been more than brisk. So far, 250,000 copies have been sold.
All right, we got Twin Peaks mania in Japan. We have this guy who is tasked with making a Zelda game for the Game Boy. Originally, it was going to be a Link to the Past. That didn't happen. Wouldn't happen until the Game Boy Advance. So instead, what if we put Link in Twin Peaks? But for Link's Awakening, and this comes from an Iwata Asks on Spirit Tracks, where they talked about the history of portable Zelda games. For the Game Boy, they wanted something small scale, but also distinct. So that's how you get characters like Mario and Chain Chomp and interesting landmarks like the little telephone house and that witch. And this kind of paved the way for Zelda moving forward. A lot of the inspiration for the characters from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask come from this need to create distinctive characters and to have them kind of stand out for the player, and also, leads to a more narrative-focused game as well. So all of these cool nightmare-fueled characters kind of borrowed this idea from Link's Awakening. We also have this owl here. Hoot ho, brave lad, on your quest to wake the dreamer. Nobody says brave lad anymore. I think we need to bring that back. Monica Bellucci asks us, who is the dreamer? In this case, it's Link. And then owls, of course, are a huge part of Twin Peaks, this mystical figure that represents evil in Twin Peaks, but it's more of a guidance for Link in Link's Awakening. This is the mysterious forest. It's just a little bit mysterious. Anyone here play Link's Awakening? Good game, yes? Sold a lot of copies? Well, Mark Frost, the co-creator of Twin Peaks, had something to say about Link's Awakening. There he is. Hello. Anybody ever play this? I met with them about it and gave them some ideas. Never tried it myself. All right. We're moving on to another series influenced by Twin Peaks and David Lynch. I'm sure you can guess what that is.
Hey! It's okay, sweetie.
Okay.
We're here now.
No. She said it again.
She said it again. Silent Hill. Silent Hill is a survival horror, psychological horror series that started off in the PlayStation with the first game. Silent Hill 2 and 3 came out in 2001 and 2003 respectively. Silent Hill 4 came out a year after. And then there's a bunch of other things that happened that I don't really want to think about. We got the 2 remake in 2024 and then Silent Hill F in 2025. That's you. Each game has their own characters with their own kind of problems and anxieties and both literal and metaphorical demons to face. So each game is unique in that way. And it is pretty similar to Twin Peaks in that there you have the physical location of Silent Hill where you traverse normally at the beginning of a game, and then it transitions into the other world where most of the combat takes place and where you face demons that are often designed after whatever anxiety or conflict the character is facing at the time. And then, it's very nightmare, dreamlike things occur in the other world. And then at some point, depending on the game, these two worlds kind of blend together. As Harry very smartly says in Silent Hill 1, rather than shifting from reality to a nightmare, this is more like reality becoming a nightmare. Like I said, similar to Twin Peaks, we have these two dual realities here, similar to Fire Walk with Me with Laura Palmer's home and the dream that she goes into, which is designed after the interiors of her room. Next, I'm going to do some dialogue. PS1 dialogue is always fun. There's a lot of factors, loading from a disc, voice acting just not being a thing that they did, and Silent Hill is a little bit different because it is better than like Resident Evil 1, but it's still really weird in a way that feels intentional to me, but I'm still not sure. But I will. I'm going to play a scene from Silent Hill, and then I will play a scene from Lost Highway, and you can kind of decide for yourself.
Was I dreaming?
How do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run over by a truck. But I'm all right, I guess.
Glad to hear it. You from around here? Why don't you tell me what happened?
Wait a second, I'm just a tourist. I came here for a vacation. I just got here. I don't know what happened. I'd like to find out myself.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen a little girl? Just turned 7 last month, short, black hair. My daughter.
Sorry. The only person I've seen in this town is you.
Where is everybody?
I'd tell you if I knew, believe me. But from what I can tell, something bizarre's going on. That's all I know.
This is the bedroom? You sleep here? In this room? Both of you?
This is our bedroom.
There's no other bedroom.
No. I mean, I use it as a practice room. It's soundproof.
You're a musician?
Yeah,
What's your axe?
tenor. Tenor saxophone.
Deep. No, tone deaf. Do you own a video camera?
No. Fred hates them.
I like to remember things my own way.
What do you mean by that?
How I remembered them. Not necessarily the way they happened.
Hold that thought. That'll be important in 2 slides. Sound Hill 2 has a lot of similarities between Lost Highway and visual reference from Blue Velvet. It's been 2 slides. This is where my content warning for you comes in. So the Lost Highway clip in particular is particularly gruesome. So just fair warning for that. But here's a videotape.
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful. You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place. I think I can see why. It's too bad we have to leave. Please promise you'll take me again, James.
So yeah, dudes killing wives. Lost Highway has basically Lost Highway is about a guy who kills his wife and then kind of disassociates from there, and then Silent Hill 2 is about one guy who does the same thing. But we have similar deployment in terms of characters. Renee is the Fred Madison's wife, who is married to him. That is what happens when you're married to someone. But that is contrasted with Alice, who is this kind of femme fatale, sexy character that is the idealized version of what Fred kind of desires sexually from a wife. Similar story to Silent Hill 2, where we have Mary who dies before the events of Silent Hill 2 occurs, and then Maria, who is, depending on how you play the game, similarly an object of desire for James. Silent Hill 2 is definitely more character-focused, whereas Lost Highway is more of a broad exploration of masculinity and objectification and so on. This one is very self-explanatory. Also, I'm sorry, I don't know why my computer is lagging, so sorry about that. But here is just a quick scene from Blue Velvet and Silent Hill 2. Why did that work? And that's all I can show Blue Velvet. I feel like I don't need to explain that one. But while we're here talking about PS2 games, let's talk about the PS2. What do we think when we think about the PS2? Whatever you're thinking is wrong, because we're here to talk about the third place, the David Lynch directed advertisement for the PlayStation 2.
Where are we?
Welcome to the third place.
PlayStation 2!
I want to run that back.
Where are we?
Welcome to the third place.
PlayStation 2! The third place!
All right. So yeah, that's the PlayStation 2, I guess. There really isn't a backstory as to why they did this, other than Sony Europe are a bunch of little freaks. And they were testing slogans, and the third place is the one they went with, which you would think the PlayStation 3 would be when they would use that, but sorry, my notes say my gender is the third place. But Lynch has done ads in the past, definitely, especially in the 90s as well. And actually, talking about Sony Europe, not surprising that they would nonchalantly commission this, considering that they were doing shit like this for the PlayStation Vita later on. Now, this really has nothing to do with anything, but I do have another commercial for you because it's fucking crazy. Anyway, Remedy Games. Remedy Games have always had an affinity for David Lynch, all the way back from the Max Payne games. Address Unknown was the in-game television show that was a reference to Twin Peaks. And then you actually go there in the second game and do some shooting guys. Control has some Twin Peaks in it. The Ashtray Maze is visually a bit similar to the Black Lodge in Twin Peaks. And then with Alan Wake, we get some callbacks as well, which brings us to Alan Wake. In general, I saw an Alan Wake somewhere. Hello. Alan Wake has a lot of references to just American fiction in general, like The Twilight Zone and Stephen King, but it wears Twin Peaks on its sleeve for sure. I'm going to see if you can notice any similarities between the two. Diners are pretty normal, and I think all sheriff stations look like that actually. And I think all older women have a thing that they hold. And I think all game developers are FBI agents in their own game. So yeah, what happens in Alan Wake? I'm going to try to do this. We have Alan Wake. He's a writer. Ignore the gun that's in his hand. We have Alice Wake, which, sidebar, Patricia Arquette's character in Lost Highway is named Alice Wakefield. I'm just telling you. Alan Wake is a writer, and he has writer's block, which is the worst thing you can have as a writer, and he's mad about it. And he gets into an argument with Alice, and then Alice, as an aftermath of that, gets captured by like a dark force and is sent to the dark place, which is similar to the Black Lodge in Twin Peaks. And then the first Alan Wake game, you're trying to find your wife, and then at the end of the game, there's a switcheroo, and then Alan ends up in the dark place with Alice in the real world, and presumably he's also mad about that. Also at the end of the first Alan Wake, there's an evil doppelganger named Mr. Scratch. Who could that remind you of? And he will meet your friends when you're gone. And then the premise of Alan Wake 2 is basically Alan Wake having to face off with evil Mr. Scratch and take control of the story of Alan Wake, which this is the glow up of the century. If a dark place made me that hot, I would go in there for sure. Absolutely. Also in Alan Wake is the concept of the overlap. Basically, Alan Wake 2 has two campaigns, and the characters kind of cross paths in this kind of abstract way. And the way they kind of convey that is overlaying visuals from the environment. One character is in with another, which is taken directly from the third season of Twin Peaks, where Cooper is kind of walking down this hallway, and we have images of the forest kind of fade in. So I'll just play it here. The scene in Twin Peaks is a little dark, so I apologize for that, but it'll be clear what as soon as you see it. He's a writer, by the way. So pretty cool. I'm pro stealing things that are cool. Some quick hits, games that I'm not going to go too much into detail on, but we'll talk about. Deadly Premonition, which is a Twin Peaks inspired game that's not for me, but it's for someone. Evil Within 2 has some nods to Twin Peaks in it, but also more prominent, I guess, is references to Hannibal, with the villain that turns dead bodies into art is a huge thing towards the beginning of that game. Life is Strange, yes, has some nods to Twin Peaks and Fire Walk with Me. There is a scene towards the end that has some backwards talking and such, and the plot of the game, or at least part of the plot, is Rachel Amber, who it goes missing, and part of that is trying to find her. And yeah, she's totally fine. Persona, with the Velvet Room, which is kind of a mishmash of the Black Lodge and Blue Velvet. This is from Persona 1. It's not really as prominent in the other games. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is not related to any David Lynch, but Hideo Kojima is a fan. We watched Twin Peaks: The Return, episodes 1 to 3. Why up to 3? This afternoon at Kojima Productions. That is not directly related to Death Stranding, but I wanted to let them know the direction and the world of Lynch. I asked them to watch the rest if they like it. Also gave away a Kojima Productions cap at the end. Thumbs up emoji, crap emoji, rainbow emoji, whale emoji. Some indie games, and this is by no means extensive or conclusive. There's so much independent games that are inspired by Twin Peaks. These are just a few that I wanted to shout out. Kentucky Route Zero is probably my favorite, which is an adventure game that is very surreal and is about a lot of things that the third season of Twin Peaks turns to be about, kind of the decay of capitalism and the systems that govern us, kind of abandoning its people and kind of exploring that and the different ways that people live their lives. Beautiful game, just a lot of amazing visuals. Highly recommend it if you haven't played it already. Virginia, which is a first-person narrative game with no dialogue, so a lot of it does end up being interpretive, but it is about broadly corruption and the nature of the political intrigue and such. So pretty cool game. I haven't played these Rusty Lake games, but I hear that they're pretty cool. These point-and-click kind of mystery adventure games, and they have a little tribute to David Lynch in their latest game. We'll talk about fan projects. We have Twin Peaks Into the Night, which was a PS1 inspired game that got taken down by Paramount. Thank you, Paramount. But the demo is out there if you can know how to use the internet. But yeah, pretty cool PS1 inspired Twin Peaks game. And then we have David Lynch Teaches Typing. And I am just going to give you a little taste of that.
Hello, this is filmmaker David Lynch. I'm going to be taking you through the magical world of typing. By the time you finish this computer program, you'll be a typing wizard. Let's rock. Using your left index finger, push down on the F key. Wow, excellent. Well done. Let's move on to the next key. All right, kiddo. Using your right index finger, push down on the J key. Wow, amazing, beautiful. We're doing beautiful work here. That was just great. Let's move on. Now, place your left ring finger in the undulating bug next to your keyboard. Thank you for letting me teach you how to type. To unlock the full version, go to the nearest bathtub and make smacking noises with your hands until someone can assist you.
The full game is longer, but I had to cut for time. But definitely check it out if you haven't already. I also wanted to shout out the Fix Your Hearts or Die at David Lynch Game Jam, which happened last February, which has a bunch of really cool stuff, a lot of visual. Sorry, I just realized. Yeah, a lot of cool visual art, and also an Eraserhead Tamagotchi, which I still don't know how to feel about. And a lot of cool tabletop stuff, and some independent journaling projects as well. So just a few more examples of that. And then there is actually going to be another one later this year. I'll have a QR code that has links to the submissions, and also if you want to sign up for the second one, I'm not affiliated, but shout outs to Shelly Vitchline who gave me permission to plug that, and all the cool work that people who worked on that jam did. Very cool. We're going to go into a little bit of a full circle because David Lynch has seen a video game and knows what a video game is. They put objective markers in fucking Twin Peaks. Those are just objective markers. There's an official Twin Peaks VR game, and it seems bad, but Here are a couple highlights from that. There's a lot more in the game, but it seems super boring. You're just like doing menial tasks. Like you're in like the sheriff's station, you get a phone call, and it's like some random Paramount intern that's like, Lucy left a bunch of documents around. Can you go collect them? There's also a bunch of like adventure game looking shit in the third season of Twin Peaks. This is just for Mist. And there's a lot of just like very point-and-click adventure-looking stuff in that third season, which is fitting because David Lynch almost made a point-and-click adventure game called Woodcutters from Fiery Ships. It was going to be a collaboration between this company Synergy and Lynch, but unfortunately was canceled because the studio shuttered. Now, this says it's a Lynch quote, but it's from a press release. So I don't really trust it. But apparently he played this game called Gadget and really liked it and wanted to collaborate with them. And if you're reading the description of what it would be, it just basically sounds a lot like the Woodsman in Twin Peaks Season 3. I don't know how you make a video game out of that or like what that would be like, but, you know, cool. But I want to dig more into this Gadget game that he's talking about because I had never heard of it before researching for this panel. You go on trains a lot and you're like trying to stop the apocalypse, but also it turns out you're being mind controlled, kind of like BioShock. And also there's this creepy kid that shows up. And also Guillermo del Toro, who recently did a Criterion Closet seemingly at gunpoint in this image. He apparently also played the game and really liked it, which is crazy because I've never heard about this game in my life. But here are some examples of why this would be a good fit for David Lynch here. Here's the first one. If you meet a man with a handlebar mustache, contact me. I'll chase that man to the ends of the earth. I'll never, ever give up. Okay, bye. Check out this kid. My third example is another video of this kid. I also didn't edit that video at all. That is just what it sounds like in the game. That is, of course, one project that we didn't get to see from Lynch, but there have been many others throughout his career. The latest one being Unrecorded Night, codename Wisteria, which was supposed to be a Netflix show, actually. Perfect crowd, from Stranger Things straight into a David Lynch thing. But it was in pre-production before the COVID pandemic hit, which led to its initial cancellation. Lynch worked on the script in the following years, and from what we know from statements from Laura Dern and Debbie Zoller, who is a makeup artist who has worked with Lynch in the past, they were planning to make this in some form, with Lynch potentially directing virtually. Since Lynch has passed, his producer Sabrina Sutherland has talked about potentially releasing the script in written form, so we might still see some form of it, but a filmed version of it that would be a television show we will unfortunately not see, which is a bit heartbreaking, to be honest. I remember when I saw the third season of Twin Peaks, I saw it as it was airing. Did anybody else see it as it was airing? Cool. It was unlike anything else I had ever experienced. Each week I would watch the show and just absorb whatever the fuck David Lynch wanted to put on the screen on a given week. And then I would hop on Twitter, which, if you don't know, it was a website you could use to communicate with other people. And we would, I would, talk to my friends about the show, theorize on what was happening, what does it mean, when is Dale Cooper gonna wake up, and it was really fun. And when it ended, I was angry because the end of the show is what it is. But after that, I just felt this kind of emptiness where, having this communal experience with people in a show that's truly a once-in-a-lifetime thing, nothing really is ever going to compare to that. And I would get very down on, having trouble engaging with anything else because, that was such a great experience in my life. But the fact of the matter, there is so much art, games, TV shows, movies that I haven't even brought up here that are inspired by David Lynch in some way. And David Lynch has talked about the abstract nature of his work. He talks about the ambiguity, leaving space for what he would call the room to dream for the viewer. Space where someone could use their life experience, bring their life experience and use it to interpret the work in their own way. In his own words, he said, if 100 people watch it, you're going to get 100 different reactions. And I think that attitude towards centering the viewer's interpretation leads to this kind of creativity, and just inspires people to tell their own stories, and to really make the work that they want to make, really just unlocking that spark of creativity within people. There was such a wide range of support when he passed, just people from all across the different, and yeah, that's David Lynch with Questlove. And they have a shark for some reason, and I don't know why. But there was such an outpouring of love and support from people from all walks of life when he passed. And along with that kind of, the open-endedness of his work, there was also just his way of just committing to whatever he wants to do artistically, which there was a 10-year gap between Inland Empire and Twin Peaks. So, not a lot of people were interested in some of the wackier things he wanted to do, but I think that speaks to kind of this unwavering commitment to not compromise on the art you would want to make. And I think that also, touched people in a lot of ways. From people like James Gunn, who makes superhero movies, to Concerned Ape, who made Stardew. I don't even like Stardew. That shit is like chores to me. And clearly I'm wrong because everybody likes Stardew Valley, but I think it's cool that like people who make all sorts of things, find value in David Lynch's work, and have shared that spark of creativity that Lynch kind of exuded and pulled out of people. And honestly, when I'm here at MAGFest, I feel that same kind of spark. We are all able to come together and form community around the act of making things, appreciating things, whether it's artwork from the marketplace, or like a random game that you discover at the indie showcase, or a musical performance. We're all able to find community in those things. So I hope if you take anything from this panel, it would be to find ways to engage creatively with others in your community, find spaces and communities that make you feel inspired in the same way that one of David Lynch's movies may have made you feel inspired, whether it's a book or a movie club, participating in a game jam, or really anything that allows you to share enthusiasm and passion in your shared interest, especially as the world gets crazier and crazier and we lose control of the world around us. Being creative and sharing that space with other people is one thing we have. I have met so many amazing friends bonding over Lynch's work, and some people come and go, but many of those people have become my closest friends, and there's nothing I can ask for more from an artist than that. That is all from me. I'm going to let Mr. Lynch have the last word. And then after, I do want to take a group photo because there's so many people here. But without further ado, I'll let him take it away.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking the challenge, 2 challenges. The first one is from Laura Dern, and she wants me to get the ice bucket, but with iced coffee. This is a double shot of espresso. Put it in the bucket. I'm going to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and try to anyway. The second bucket is for Justin Thoreau, and thank you so much, Justin. And now I would like to nominate for the Ice Bucket Challenge Vladimir Putin.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you guys so much. Have a great MAGFest.